All right, we rolling? It's Freedom Phil. What am I talking about? I just want to talk about how in van life, there are times that it's really kind of a blessing when I finally empty out my cooler. And I don't have to think about, needing extra solar. I just want to talk about some strategies. Yeah, like, subscribe, let's get into it, and always turn up the video speed. It's like this. Lay down, don't you start with me. Sometimes when it comes to like food, it's one of those funny things where you go to a food bank, for instance, and you get a ton of vegetables, ton of fruit. So the things you have to use first are the things that go bad first. Another great example of that is bread. You get one of those garlic loaves. You check that before you even leave the food bank. You want to make sure that that doesn't have any mold on it. And by the way, I got one it's Friday, so Wednesday, and it already started having mold on it. So that tells you how quick that process happens. So the first thing that you want to deal with, if you get a garlic loaf, something like that, French bread, you use that immediately. That day, I don't know, make a kick-ass sub out of that. And that comes to be an issue because I frankly do not want to unwrap unless I have to. And I need to get a smaller tarp for that. That's just God's honest truth about it. I need to get a tarp that's more applicable for that size. But the other option is the sun up, lay down, quit being a butt. Is the sun up? Can you see the sun? Do you have a solar oven like that one right there? That's a kick-ass solar oven, by the way. That's where you take anything that you need to use. Like garlic bread, the problem with that is that you have to, you get garlic, but you can't eat that stuff raw. You can't just eat garlic bread with the butter on it without heating it up. So solar oven or camp oven on the back, or you could even put it in some tin foil and put it on like a hot plate or something. Put it on some sort of heat source and just keep on flipping it and flipping it and flipping it. And it'll get it melted. But if you really want it, toasted, you need something like an oven. That will work. But I'm going to tell you, propane's the way to go in that case, or a barbecue. And so basically, that's the type of food you just got to use up the first fucking day after going to the food bank. Your breads and your quick spoiling things. Let me tell you about quick spoiling vegetables. People like lettuce. I fucking hate lettuce. But sometimes it's there, it's available, so I guess we're going to eat salad. And that's the God's honest truth. You just got all this lettuce, time to eat fucking salad. So you plan for this. You buy extra salad dressing if you're at a Dollar Tree. And you just buy a ton of extra salad dressing. You get bullshit lettuce, and then you use it. I'm not complaining about getting it. I'm just saying that it rots really quick. It has a shelf life of almost nothing. I mean, I think it and bananas are basically, racing for who's gonna rot quicker. And this is part of the reason I often recommend for survival vegetables, cabbage, baby. Cabbage, you just peel the outer leaves, and there's fresh cabbage always underneath. You could have cabbage that was nasty on the surface, then wash it real quick, and then peel out all the bad leaves, and you have good cabbage underneath. It will start to try to regrow. Cabbage is amazing. Potatoes can be that way too. Long-term vegetables. Squash. Zucchinis have a short shelf life. Cucumbers have a short shelf life. And you basically just have to, you get them and you use them. Some of the greens that you get them, you use them. And that's where I kind of look at my camp kitchen back there. And that kitchen's more made for siege mode. That's what it's made for. You unwrap it, set it up, and then you siege in for a couple weeks to a month in an area. You basically, when you're in town, you fill up all your propane, and you'll be good for like probably 3 months. And if you're using the rocket stove with the sticks and whatever fuel you have around. Dude, stop acting so oppressed. For the love of God. It's like maybe 50 degrees. It's cloudy right now. Quit bitching. My dog and his fucking... Oh my God. Oh, you didn't give me the best food. I gave you food. I'm not going to spoil you all the time. Like, dude, when we're out there bumming, he is so... Look at that gut on that dog. Look at that fucking gut. You know? Fuck. Shit, I bought him a burger the other day. I just got him a simple burger, threw it into his food. He's been a good boy. He acts... He 9 years old, he acts... He's the get off my lawn dog. I'm just going to tell you that much. You know, other dogs are around. Hey, how you doing? Oh, this is great. I want to run around. And he's like, fuck you. Get off my lawn. Up on top of his perch up there. I don't think he knows how to be a dog. That's just the truth, man. He's like, the Archie Bunker of dogs. He's like, I am the superior race of dog. Well, he's a corgi, of course he is. Anyways, back to the food. You go through, and I got a bunch of peaches and plums. I got some bananas I need to use up, and I'm kind of 50-50 on bananas. You know why I hate bananas and I love bananas? I kind of hate bananas because there's one point in my life where there was this grocery store, and there was Red Band bananas. Yeah, hey, what's up, dude? Red Band bananas were like a quarter of the price because they had spots on them, so the rich people wouldn't buy them. And there was a time I was broke as fuck back in about 20 years ago when I bought that house on the other state. And I ate so many Red Band bananas, I was like, I hate bananas now. Now I'll eat bananas, but I don't get excited about bananas. So you get bananas and you're like, well, I'm going to try to eat these, but if they start going bad, I'm going to toss them into the shrubbery. And look, it's a banana. It'll just become one with the soil. Just pull off the stickers so there's nothing left when it decomposes. That's the key thing. Like that garlic loaf I had earlier, it started having mold on it. I'm like, I could possibly pick off the mold and turn it. I'm like, I don't care that much. I got so much other food around. I hit up like 3 food banks on the way over here. Between the main town that I left, actually 2 over there, 1 in the other town, and then 1 when I was about to leave town the other day. And so I didn't plan on getting this cold. I was, and I could just head south if I wanted to, but I figured, fuck it, kind of hang out. There's a spot I kind of want to bum on the way out of here because I don't know when the hell I'm going to be back, so why not bum it? Like Devo, whip it good. If there's a spot you can bum, you should bum it. Learn how to bum. But you get back to the other foods. And once you get past all the fruits that rot, then you get into the apples and the pears. And the apples and the pears have a pretty good shelf life. Pineapples have a pretty long shelf life. So you can kind of let those hang out for a while. But all the easy to quick fruit, you gotta if you've got, peaches, nectarines, plums, lettuce and bananas first. Any sort of greens, beet greens, really good. Love beet greens. But if you get beet greens, they're right up there with lettuce. You cut off the beet from the grain, the beet will be good forever. Well, not ever, but they have that kind of shelf life like a carrot. Dog, I swear to God, if your butt breaks that antenna, yeah, I swear he's got the ass of a wombat. But it's like it'll be some punishment time if you break that fucking antenna. He's such a fucking asshole. He's such an attention whore too. I shower him with everything. By the way, I've been drinking. I shower him with everything. And then he's just like such a fucking whore for everybody else. And he looks at me like a sullen teenager. Oh, it's you. Okay, thanks. But, yeah, no. Pears and apples, they can last quite a while. And you can use those in your baked goods. Fresh. You just cut them up into pieces. God, what was that? Oh, yeah. If you can get your hands on this at the food banks, it's more of a seasonal thing. Fresh cranberries. When I used to go, I was down near St. George, Utah. St. George and Mesquite. I used to get like frozen bags of blueberries. And then there was around Thanksgiving, so I'd get cranberries as well. I gotta tell you, it was fucking awesome because when you make your baked goods, you put in some chopped up fresh apples. And up here, we've got pear trees, plums, peaches. Peaches, not so much because most people don't know that you can grow apricots and peaches here. But yeah, frost peaches grow like a motherfucker here. Most people just don't know that. But yeah, we got plums, pears, and apples galore. Like, so you get tons of like homegrown just fruit. Like if you went up to a food bank in the Northwest and they had a bunch of waste apples, you could make all the cider you want or all the applesauce. You know, you just cut off the bad part and then basically, you know, take the rest of it and turn it into basically applesauce or cider or whatever, you know, preserves. But yeah, most people are too fucking lazy to do that. That's the same thing with pickling cabbage. Pickling, not cabbage, but pickling seaweed. But yeah, once you get past that, you start getting into the more long-lasting stuff. And this is actually somewhere along the lines of all your stuff in your fridge will stay good for, like eggs will stay good for a long time in a fridge. But then you got to have electricity for all that nonsense. And so basically, when it comes to the whole like food thing, I don't have the hugest solar generator. I have 2 systems. I got that system for the TV, and I got these 2 panels for the solar generator. And pretty much, for the most part, I use a few accessories, but for this system, and sometimes I even charge the accessories on that system, because I'll tell you what, that system actually charges. That old school system with the deep cycle battery and just its cheap Harbor Freight setup, I actually got an extra regulator and all that shit, or whatever they call it. Modulator, regulator, I don't fucking remember. But yeah, that system there will catch sun. Even on a day like this, it will still be charging crap. This one, because of the Blue Eddy, you have to hit a certain amount of power before it'll start accepting it. And it actually leaks power too, which fucking pisses me off. It leaks a little power over the night, and it's just, it's really annoying because it's like, okay, well, that 10% of my power that just disappeared, or 15% over the night for no fucking reason. Yeah, please explain to that one, me Blue Eddy. But I need a bigger solar generator storage unit there. And that way I could go, you know, I'll take these 2 panels, or I may just replace these 2 panels with something even better. I'll move that black box up there over here. The generator box, which I should really think of that generator a tune-up or just replace it, get rid of it. I don't know. Just, do I really need a generator? The only real reason I need a generator anymore is if there's no power, no sunlight for ages. And usually there's almost always enough power. And if I had a bigger solar generator, I wouldn't even need. Like, I could add another battery to that system up there. And effectively, yeah, my TV would probably be on all fucking night and then some. I mean, I've woke up sometimes at 2 in the morning with the TV. I forgot to turn it off, got drunk, you know? So, I mean, it'd be like all day, all night TV. But, yeah, 4 panels on the other side, bigger solar generator, boxes over on this side. Maybe get rid of the generator and put a box up there that I could fit a couple propane tanks, you know? I think that'd be pretty tits. I think that'd be pretty all right. You know? Or maybe even just get another generator, just something smaller, something that works. But I almost never use. I mean, that's the problem of having a generator when you got a decent solar setup. And if you got enough solar power to where you can sit in the sun for like a handful of hours, and then you charge up like 2,000-3,000 watts, and that'll last you multiple days in the shade, you know, because you turn off your refrigerator at night, then there's just like, it's kind of like, why do you even need a generator? And people are like, what if you need to jump yourself? Well, you can actually just run a cord from your system to a jumper to jump your system, you know, your van, if you ever needed to. So that's kind of the thing about it. But like, one of the most beautiful things is when you get to the point where you have no perishable food in your cooler. Like, you've eaten all the meat, all the bacon's gone, all the cheese, all the eggs, and you don't actually need your cooler. And the reason that's wonderful is because the majority of my watt usage is my cooler. So, I mean, if we're talking about just the stuff like a cell phone, well, I could charge my cell phones. I could actually charge my, what's going on over here? Well, that was something going by real fast. But I can charge my cell phones and a lot of my stuff all just off that system there. But I don't really want to charge something, and I think it's kind of delicate, to be honest, technologically. The Nintendo Switch. So I use, my solar generator. Pardon me, I got to blow a snot rocket. Yeah, that's what happens every once in a while. You catch a cold when you're out here. Kind of sucks, kind of is what it is. We got another guy coming. Here we go. Oh, that looks like almost like fire there. Yeah, get another drink here, my Four Loko. But yeah, you get rid of all the food in your cooler, and then you have so much wattage. I mean, the Nintendo Switch only takes 3 to 4 watts. My Christmas lights in there that if you've watched my channel, you've seen them occasionally. So, I mean, you can get, even on a shitty day like this, and the problem I have with that Blue Eddy is, while this one will start charging, even on a cloudy day, this one will start recharging that system. Because I have a little battery meter, one of those 12 volt, shows how many volts, and it gets up to like, I don't let it go too far below 12. And that's like pretty extreme, like long-term playing, like middle of the night, you wake up drunk, and you're like, oh shit, I left the TV on. You get up, go out, take a piss, see whatever reruns are on, go back to sleep, turn off the TV. It's like 2 a.m. But that one will just charge just fine. That Blue Eddy, on the other hand, it needs a certain amount of voltage load before it'll accept it. And once it's accepted that we have enough power to let power through, then even on a shitty day like this, you're getting wattage. Oh shit, what we got going on here? Oh, there goes the fire truck. Somebody was on the road. Someone was on the road. You got the highway right here, but then you got like the little road that you turn on to get down into this place. This is one of my old spots here. Been staying here a bit. During the day, I go somewhere where I can absorb the sun. And that's the truth of it, man. It's like, that's why I say, if you had a bigger solar system, so that, like 4 panels is more than enough. Like 400 watts is more than enough. If you have a huge solar generator, if you got like 2,000 watts or more of storage capacity, and then you have also the boost, or like your inverter can go up to some huge amount. Like, I'd like even more than 2,000 watts, because the more you store, like I'm only using about 30 to 40 watts with that cooler. So you got to figure. And the other thing you can do, is kind of a trick for your cooler, is you can actually, you freeze up some jugs. If you're hanging out with a buddy, you're like, hey man, can I put a couple of jugs in your freezer? So we freeze them. Like we're partying, hanging out, and before I leave, at the base of the cooler, I have 2 frozen jugs, and that'll help balance the refrigerator, because then it won't have to turn on and off as much. Also you get stuff frozen. When you get stuff frozen from like the food bank, the grocery store, whatever, that's the best, because it's already cold, it's already frozen. Now, some things you got to be careful with. Like, you get a bag of chicken at Walmart, one of those 10-pound bags of leg quarters. Do not ever put that in your cooler. You buy that stuff and you use it that day. You smoke it, you cook it that day, then you put it in your fridge. And like, well, why is that? Because that stuff has a tendency, it's frozen, it's got a lot of blood and water. So you're going to have something to put all that chicken in. And another trick you can do is you can take cardboard and build a liner inside your cooler. So if there is any sort of mess, you just pull out the old cardboard, throw that in your campfire, and your problem's gone. So, I mean, like, hey, pizza box recycled into a liner, and then if it goes bad, whatever, man. It makes it so much easier to clean. Same thing with the seaweed. Like, I'd like to pack seaweed around, but I want a sealable container for the seaweed. You know, so basically, there's no fucking ocean smell in my cooler. So what I'm getting at with this is that there is something really nice when you run out of like regular perishable cooler food. Like, it's nice to have eggs, it's nice to have butter. Margarine will stay good on the outside. You don't need to refrigerate margarine. If you know somebody that could sell you like farm fresh eggs, unwashed farm fresh eggs, that's the fucking best. As long as they're at a fair price. Because I'm sorry, I'm not paying no $7. I saw somebody selling them for $7 a dozen. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck to the hell you. I'm like, you're not going to convince me that, yeah, I know how this game really runs. They try to, oh, it's organic. Fuck you. I know how many of you go out there and you go to the food banks, you go to the bread store and you buy the cheap bread and you're augmenting your food with the cheap bread and your chickens are out there eating everything under the sun. Yeah, they're free range. That's true. But there ain't nothing organic about most people's so-called organic eggs. You know? $7 a dozen. I just want them because they're unwashed. And unwashed eggs can basically, you can put them on the counter. They'll be fine for like a month or longer on a counter. If you put like, you know, unwashed eggs in the fridge, they'll last like 6 months or longer. So, I mean, that's why you want unwashed eggs. And people say, why is it we wash them? Because in this country, we don't vaccinate our chickens. So there's like a little salmonella action potentially on the shell. So they wash the eggs and then they refrigerate them. Now, in Europe, they vaccinate their fucking chickens so you don't have to wash the eggs until you use them. Which, doesn't that make more sense? I mean, it is what it is. So once you run out of certain, like, it's nice to have eggs. But I can get by, like, okay, let's take it to where you have no cooler. No cooler equals maybe you're using, instead of eggs, you're using beans or bananas to, you know, in your baked goods. Pardon me for a second. Getting over this cold. Yeah, thank you, other people. But yeah, no, you switch over and use like beans or bananas. I've used beans I love beans in my brownies. It's way better. Like, you make black beans and then you use some of them for, you know, making like, I don't know, burritos or some shit. And then you use the rest of them for baking baked goods, like fucking black bean brownies. They're delish. You put them in a blender, you blend them up, a little bit of oil, a little bit of this, a little that, and then it's a thickener. And add a little more sugar, you know, add a few more little components, maybe a little more cocoa, and people don't even know that they're having black bean brownies. And the same thing with using bananas. You get bananas that are getting to that questionable stage, well, you can use them for baking just like you would eggs. You can use them also to make banana bread. Same thing with zucchinis. And so, yeah, there's certain foods, and the god tier foods are the foods that last the longest, like the fresh vegetables and fruits. Like carrots have a nuclear shelf life, just like cabbage has a nuclear shelf life. Cabbage is like a mutant that you chopped its head off and it's trying to regrow a body in the earth. You know, like you chop the head off of some mutant and it hits the ground and it starts growing roots into the ground to produce a new body for itself. That is how durable cabbage is. But when you get down to the dried goods and you have nothing perishable in your fridge, it's beautiful, because then your solar, you can get solar for, I could probably, you know, if I did it right and I was just getting the crap solar that I get on a cloudy day, I could probably be in the middle of like a patch of forest like this, yeah, for a week if I didn't have to deal with the fridge. And like I said, I need a bigger solar generator, which solar generator is a stupid fucking name for it. Solar storage unit. That's really what it is. I need a bigger unit, but I can't justify buying one at this point due to the fact that I'm going to go back to trucking. And so I don't want to buy a unit and then just have it sitting around, slowly deteriorating year after year. I might be in trucking for another 10, 15 years. How, you know, who knows? I might, you know, be one of those truckers that drives until I'm like 60 something. I mean, I'm 45, so 15 years isn't exactly long. But trucking may not even exist in 15 fucking years. You know? Anyhow, yeah, you get to that dried unit, and that's where you start getting into canned goods. Like you got canned stews, ramen, you know. That's where your cabbage comes in. And you bust out these sort of foods, and yeah, I mean, it can get a bit repetitive. You learn how to spice things, but you know, like a good can of like hearty beefy stew, a little extra, you cook a little extra, you like say it's a sunny day, use your solar oven, and you cook up a ton of rice, and you put it into the fridge. And you just kind of augment your dog's food with that, augment your food with that. And then you do that soup, just add a little rice, add a little potatoes. Potatoes, that's another one. You know, I gotta say, man, solar baked potatoes, a little bit of ranch sauce. Who the fuck can afford blue cheese these days? It's really good. It's just really good, man. You know, I wasn't complaining, you know, and it's just something kind of zen about it. And then hopefully if you still have some pears, like before you get to the canned good pears, some pears or apples, yeah, you're baking stuff. Like your cooler's empty of all the normal food, and you just start baking shit, man. You're like, well, we're out of baked goods. Sun's up. Sun looks like it'll check the weather forecast. It's gonna be sunny all day. Next day or two. That's also, I gotta tell you, those are the days that actually you get a lot of shit done. If you have a good clean creek near you, you're washing your clothes in that creek. You know, you're washing your clothes in the early morning before the sun gets real good. You hang on your laundry, and you're baking some loaves of whatever. Like if I have Jiffy mix, you know, like corn loaves mixed with like, you know, fruit, like a cobbler, lemon cake, yellow cake, brownies, peanut butter, chocolate brownies. And if you happen to have a can of it, that fucking coconut praline frosting. Oh, sweet Jesus. That's so. I did this one time. It was about a couple of years ago when I was in the wasteland during the winter. I did this. It was a Oreo pie tin with the peanut butter on the bottom, and then the brownie, then the peanut butter on top, baked for God knows how long, and then the coconut frosting. It was so fucking good. And I baked it a little extra long, so it was kind of, I don't know, like kind of crunchy crispy. It was really, really fucking good. But yeah, the other thing that you can do sometimes, depending on the environment, like for instance, I have my solar panels honestly on the wrong side. They should be on the other side, you know? But the shade side of your van, if you're in a place that gets cold at night, you take, like in between the panels or wherever you can set it, you take some water bottles and you put them outside, and they will get some ice action on the cold nights. And then you can actually take some of your extra coolers inside that you use for storage. And you have an extra fridge, whole ass extra fridge there. Oh yeah, cauliflower is another good vegetable too. It lasts pretty long. Cabbage is number one. Cauliflower is pretty good. Onions are good. They last a long time. Potatoes are good. Broccoli is kind of middle of the road. Lettuce fucking sucks a dick. Lettuce doesn't even really taste that good. You know? That's kind of... I look at lettuce like I look at seaweed. I love seaweed, by the way. No, seaweed is a million times better. But you get out there, you pick it, you use it, and maybe you can store it for a handful of days. If you got cold storage to put it in where you can seal it, you don't have to smell it, you can keep it for a lot longer. But you have to work to keep some things. And seaweed, if I had the choice between lettuce or seaweed, it'd be seaweed every fucking day of the week. Because seaweed's super good for you. But yeah, once you get to that beautiful end of perishable food, it gives you a lot of options on where you can park. You know, then you're like, I don't care if it's shady. You know, you got a big enough solar unit. Like you charge up your solar unit, you could be back in a shady spot for, you know, a week or two, you know, basically playing video games out there. cooking on, cooking dry camp food. Like, like if you got those cans of soup. Now, like, I'm not talking like, canned soup like, Campbell's or anything like that. I'm talking like, that 30-year safe self-storage, apocalypse come, creamy potato type of stuff, where you just, you add in a little this and that, some spices, some extra potatoes, and it's pretty fucking dank delicious, man. And then I just pointed out like that, dude. That's just kind of something beautiful about that. And that's the same thing goes for water, too. Kind of choose your sites. Like hit this area up. Like, don't even try to, if there's free camping at a campground like a DNR or BLM place, go in the middle of the week. That's when everybody's going to be gone. That's when it's going to be easy to find a place. Also, another example of that is a lot of those campgrounds got way too much shade. They don't have enough sun. So you basically run out of food that's perishable. Got a lot of dried goods, got a lot of canned goods, got a lot of stuff that'll take a while to go bad. That's when you go to those campgrounds. And you strategically plan to go there about the same time that you need water. So you kind of roll through, fill up all, 30 to 40 to 50 gallons of water. And if you're at a place that gets rain occasionally, set up a tarp, set up some sort of bucket system. Every drop that you can use for your backwoods bidet, for bathing that comes from the sky, that means you don't have to waste clean water for it. And then once you're done in an area, you've been out somewhere for 2 weeks or so up on a clear cut, mountainside, a piece of the desert, then you go back to that campground. Maybe then you stay there. Or you just refill your water and go to another spot. And once you run out of that perishable food, then you go to the shady campground. But you can run an area and you barely use any gas, basically, because you mind your resources. Not to mention what grows wild. What's out there, like you got some blackberries, you got some, fireweed, stinging nettles, you got some seaweed around, if you're, that's one thing I got to say. You got to wash the seaweed sometimes, just get off some of the salt and stuff. But, if you cook with seaweed, you don't need to add salt, you don't. But it's like, instead of purchasing vegetables at the grocery, you just purchase your shellfish seaweed license, assuming you even want to, some guys will just be like, fuck it, I have yet to run into a warden ever, so I'm not going to tell you to purchase it, but I just recommend it. If it's only like $20, what's the big deal? It's just like, it's buying insurance just in case they do show up. But you go out there, you've dug up some clams, you pick some seaweed, you have yourself a good old clam bake, It's good times, man. Listen to your tunes, got video games to play. If you got airwave TV coming in from wherever, play, do that. If you downloaded a bunch of books when you were in town, or if you've got internet, download a book, listen to some of your favorite authors on your cell phone, It's pretty awesome, man. But I don't know, it's just some tactics to think about. And I hope you all have a great day. I'm going to finish this Four Loko. Go see what's on TV. Go see what my dog's doing on the other side over there, acting like a sullen little bitch like he usually does. So, hope you're all doing well. Take it easy.